Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you joined us for our AI and Technology Conference. Our next live presentation is from Brand Engagement Network. Please note you can submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides, and you can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book a Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Paul Chang. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Brand Engagement Network, which trades on Nasdaq under the symbol BNAI. Welcome back, Paul.
Thanks, John. Great to be back here. I appreciate the opportunity. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Today, I wanted to discuss a potentially new way to not just look at Gen AI, or develop Gen AI, but perhaps utilize Gen AI. And we've coined the term trust agents, because at the end of the day, when you call your local pharmacies or your insurance company, even auto dealerships, you want to be able to trust the interaction between you and the companies and the businesses that you work with. So in the realm of AI, I believe in order for AI to be broadly adopted, we also need to develop this level of trust that builds the sort of the foundation of the interaction between the businesses and the customers. So we call our AI agents trust agents, and I'll share how our technology is drastically different than anything else that you've seen out there. So just to start off by addressing the elephant in the room. So we know DeepSeek made headlines a few months ago. But at the end of the day, what they did was nothing that spectacular, right? If we're being honest, they just made their training of their large language model, which is still very, very large, they just made the training more efficient and perhaps cheaper by using certain training methodology. But that's where their innovation stopped. They didn't improve upon the UX. They didn't improve upon the accuracy. They didn't improve upon the scalability or still the dependency on GPUs. So at Ben, we are redefining AI with what we call small language models. So some are as small as 7 billion parameters. And this is a sort of a technical session, so I can start to use some of those technical terminology. It's been designed for efficiency, security, and industry-specific applications. Now you begin to understand how we are able to use such a small language model and still exceed the results of those other language models that are orders of magnitude larger. So smaller, lighter, modular approach is the next revolution in Gen AI. So while others have continued, or they still continue to chase, GPU heavy, generalized models that is designed to answer every question for everyone, we don't think that's necessary for businesses. In fact, what we're hearing from businesses is, number one, they want controls over their AI. They want controls over their interaction with their customers. They want full governance of how their AI is trained, where it gets the information, how it interacts with the customers or their users, and be able to apply basic rules that they run their business by, right? I mean, this is the same type of rules that their staff members would have to go by. They want to be able to insert those rules while allowing free-flowing conversation. And of course, having data provenance and governance is critical to them. They also want something that it's affordable, right? They themselves, most of these businesses, cannot get their hands on GPUs in many cases. So wouldn't it be great if the models are small enough, the data set is small enough that you could actually run on CPUs? That gives you scalability and cost savings. And of course, you need security, right? Every AI system needs to be tightly secured so that no data is leaking out and nothing is actually coming in. So I call that ring-fenced platform, right? So it ensures regulatory and privacy compliance. We are in the healthcare space, so we are HIPAA compliant, and then we also have a SOC 2 certification. So our AI is purpose-built for industries, healthcare, finance, and automotive, and I'm going to share some of those examples with you later. But to me, the other most important aspect, so one is the business controls, and then two, it's really speed to value. If you are able to take an existing platform that's componentized with various different AI modules, and you can pick and choose the various components and the functionality, apply rules, and deploy a fully turnkey AI system in a matter of days and weeks, not months, because you don't have to build all those guardrails that may or may not work. You don't have to do the months and months of testing because you're afraid something's going to hallucinate. You can actually deploy our solution in days and weeks. And I think that is what's missing. It's the first bullet point, business controls, and the last bullet point, speed to value. And that is what's creating hesitancy out in the marketplace for companies to adopt AI technology. So just a quick comparison chart. And we have obviously the traditional large language models, which, you know, it is a very critical technology. There's no denying that. But just having the large language model doesn't make it an enterprise-grade software solution. So we have traditional large language models, and we have Ben's new AI platform, which is safe, secure, and scalable. So the traditional large language models, we all know it's prone to hallucination, right? And if you're a consumer, sometimes the hallucinations are kind of funny, right? Oh, you know, look at that answer. However, when you're running a business, your AI, just like your human agents, cannot hallucinate, cannot give improper, wrong answers. The other challenge with the large language models, it is compelled to provide an answer, even if it doesn't know the answer. So sometimes it creates fake references and then points to that reference and provides answers. With our system, there is no forced response when there's no answer within the data set that was provided to us. And that is still the case with any other human agents today, right? If they don't know the answer, they have to pass it on to the supervisor, you know, who may have deeper knowledge or expertise to help solve your problems. Processing and accessibility. So they, you know, depend on large-scale GPU farms in order to train, also run, which we know they're difficult to procure. So if you can find processing power that's readily available and at lower cost, that's really a win-win for the business. Security and data. There's obviously potential data leakage, but then also these systems are almost always cloud-based, and it trains on public or unknown data sources. Our system, our platform, is a closed-loop system that can incorporate business rules. And you know the specific training material, where the large language model is being trained from. Reliability, again, cloud dependent, and you need internet access. If you can build something small enough, you actually don't even need internet. I don't know how many AI companies can make that claim that they can run without the use of internet. And that gives you the confidence that it is fully contained and you can turn off the connection and it will be fully functional. And there may be cases where that is useful to them. And in terms of applications, again, large language models are built for general purpose. It has to know everything about medication, world history, things that may or may not be relevant to any business. There's no business, even if they're a conglomerate, that needs to know everything that's happened in the world, right? They tend to be fairly specific in order to survive in today's landscape. So industry specific, purpose-built AI is what they need. Data privacy and security is making headlines. Obviously, there are cases around the world. There's a few highlighted here. The one that I'm going to point to is there's a new California bill that was introduced, AB 364, by Assemblyman Carl DeMaio. And that law stipulates that the consumers need to opt in, specifically opt in for their data usage. And there's got to be a local residency requirement because we want to protect the consumer data. We don't want it to be leaked out. We don't want the consumer data to be used as training material for language models for use by others. So we support that bill and we provided guidance in terms of how such technology can be developed and deployed here in the US. So I'm going to share just a practical example. So let's think about a patient journey in pharmacy. So whether you're in pharmacy or whether you get a little bag tag or social media links or SMS, you want to be able to share information with your patient population. However, in today's world, the way the traditional journey looks is you might get a text message with a link with your local pharmacy, you click on it, you get launched into their website. And I don't know if you've gone to a pharmacy website trying to navigate through to get critical information so that you can make decisions. So in fact, this happened to me this week. I got a text from my local pharmacy for vaccination. So I'm over 50, so I'm eligible for shingles vaccine. So it allowed me to click on selecting some of these vaccine options without the ability for me to ask anyone questions about it. And for me, this is interesting because I actually had shingles 6 months ago. And because of that, I am not eligible for shingles vaccine for at least 12 months after the incident. However, if I didn't know that, I might just sign up to get the shingles vaccine, and that would be a mistake. So the information that's needed for consumers to make these critical decisions about their health are not easily found. So in many cases, people just simply ignore it and they don't sign up. And then the result could be something like what happened to me. You get shingles, which is, often very painful, and it can be quite scary, right? Especially if it's, close to an eye. So this is sort of the current journey today for an American patient. However, in the future, instead of having being pointed to a website where you have to sift through a bunch of material to try to understand how a particular vaccine or drug works. You should be able to speak with an agent and have a free-flowing conversation, provide necessary information about your status, or, obviously once we can integrate the personal data, then the agent would know who you are. It would know that you picked up antiviral medication 6 months ago because you had shingles. It would have that information, and it would only recommend vaccine that you would be eligible for. So it'll be interactive. It could have, local sort of content and customization. You can use this technology to schedule your appointment. And then shingles, for those of you who know, it's a 2-shot regimen. If you only get the first shot, you're not vaccinated. But the drop-off between first shot and second shot is quite significant. With this AI agent, you would be sent a reminder to say, hey, you got the first shot, but in order to be fully protected, you need to go get the second shot. So that way, the users can have interaction with an intelligent agent who knows your situation and is able to provide personalized advice and guidance to protect your health. So how does this all work? So our medication advisor, or our agent, is based on FDA's data and industry-leading resources. So content from the FDA, CDC, the drug manufacturer or vaccine manufacturer, that is what our large language model is trained on. And that is also what sits in our RAG. So it knows where to go get the answers and provides those answers with very specific references to documents that support it. So we're not guessing, we're giving you the answer, sifting through large amount of data very, very quickly, and providing the most appropriate, accurate responses to the user. Now, this sounds simple, but there's lots of orchestration that needs to happen to get it right. And if we don't have the answer, we'll simply say, we're not experts in that area of your question, and we will probably refer to some other sources or some other AI agent who may be helpful. So looking at how our technology is built, there's 3 layers. There's the front-end layer, which is really meeting the users where they are. So whether it's mobile app, mobile browser, it could be a laptop, desktop. We actually even have life-size kiosks that could engage consumers as they enter stores. And we also can stream conversations into in-car audio systems. So these various trust agents will have a physical representation to enhance the dialogue and the engagement aspect. I don't know if anyone likes to speak to a blank screen, right? So here we have an avatar that looks somewhat like a human, behaves somewhat like a human, but you clearly know it's not human. So, because there's been studies that show that people can get freaked out if something that is not human looks too much like a human. So we made sure that our AI is friendly and helpful and approachable. Some of the secret sauce for our technology sits in this middleware. I think the trick for businesses to want to adopt AI technology is they have to know, they have to be able to manage and can put controls. So you need best of both worlds, a free-flowing dialogue with your users, with your customer base, but you also need to be able to apply business rules, policies, and guidelines. because that is what protects your company, and that is what provides the most guidance, safety to your customers. But AI is only good if it can actually finish the task. Because if you're doing an outbound campaign and you have all of these people now interested in whatever services or product that you're selling, but no one to receive that, then you need to go hire equal number of people to handle that. So in the scenario that I described with the vaccines, it's an outbound campaign that can scale quite massively, but the same agent is actually handling the inbound side so that it can answer those questions and make the appointments and streamline the process on behalf of the pharmacy chain. The back end, this is where most companies, I would say most tech companies have focused on. So I would say, if you say they're, Gen AI companies, maybe 10% of those Gen AI companies are really machine learning AI companies that are saying that they're Gen AI now. The other 90% or 89% are probably just a thin veneer on top of a large language model that's publicly available. So you have no control because the terms are based on the large language model producer like DeepSeek or ChatGPT, and you just have a thin veneer UX on top of that. So for our case, we have the language model, we have the RAG, and ours is self-contained. It is proprietary solution that you can even deploy on-prem. So as I mentioned, we have 3 deployment options. We have a community cloud. This is the lowest point of entry. We see lots of customers essentially starting their POCs and pilots here on the community cloud, which is still secure. And then once you want to deploy, but still leverage the cloud, but you want your own private environment, then there's a private cloud deployment. And to my surprise, many customers have requested on-prem deployment. They see this as a way for them to control the security and the privacy of their customers' data. They can actually manage the scaling as well as the cost by having things on-prem. And so we might think on-prem is old technology, but they are useful in certain cases. So we see lots of, if companies are going production, we think it'll be a split between private cloud and on-prem deployments. So the industry that we're in the automotive sector, where 91% of customers, they're more likely to buy or shop with brands that give you personalized experience. And I think my example with the shingles vaccine, that was not personalized because it should have known that I had shingles and I picked up some antiviral medication for it. Clearly, it was a mass text instead of it being personalized. In the healthcare space, obviously, many challenges here with lack of skilled resources. I think one of the most the vexing thing as a customer or as a consumer is if you have to call your insurance company. Everyone is sort of deathly afraid because of the loop that you'll get into, never getting your answers, and you're spending half your day, going around the phone tree. Financial services, again, insurance and third-party administration. These are sources and channels for us to help an entire industry by targeting the businesses that need the most help. And I know we're running short on time, so just last use case example. We announced late last year that we intend to acquire a company called Cataneo. Cataneo is, think of them as an ERP system for digital advertising. And so here, the marriage of two will lead to some exciting new way for brands to engage their customers. So imagine you're driving down a freeway. The system recognizes that you are low on gas. It has offers from, let's say, gas stations. So it may, over the air or through your head unit or through your phone, provide an offer. We know you've been driving for 2 hours. You're low on gas. 3 miles up the road, there's an Exxon gas station. You may be able to stop there, and they can give you 20 cents off a gallon. And if that's the offer you like, you could say, okay, I'll take it, because the cool part about this is it could actually be interactive. But if you have, let's say, a Shell credit card and you like to get gas at Shell, you can actually interject and request an offer from Shell. So this technology is going to turn digital ad world upside down. The ability for the user to be able to have a conversation, bi-directional conversation with the brands that are providing you the offers. And you as a consumer, you get to choose. So the beauty of this is you get 100% attribution, which is the holy grail. And we believe when you have that level of attribution, you're going to have a much higher conversion rate. So this is the future of ad tech merging with Gen AI. So then we are a high growth market leader. We have innovation and technology. We're focused on specific industry. Obviously, we are built on trust and security. And we have quite the management team with the leadership and experiences from the various different industries. We are also backed by very strong IP portfolio that covers areas like customer engagement using AI, as well as privacy protection using sensory data. Here's our team and our board members. You can get in touch with me or through our website, beninc.ai, BENINC.ai is the website. You can see some of the sample avatars and our AI agents at play there. And with that, I think I have just a couple of minutes here for some questions. Let's see. Okay, so sales channel industry focus. Okay, so great question about sales channel. So we are working with primarily partners who have established customer base in a specific industry. So in the healthcare, in the pharmacy example, we have a great partner called MedAdvisor. They work with 80% of the pharmacy chains already as their customer base. So we are working with them and through them. And one thing about the sales cycle, this is how I know companies are looking to really figure out how to use AI, because the sales cycle is getting reduced drastically. So something that used to take, let's say, 6 to 9 months, now it's taking 1 to 2 months, and perhaps even shorter sales cycle. And so the whole idea of us releasing this platform is to facilitate that, right? You don't want to sign a contract and take 6 months to deploy something. Everyone wants something faster, and we now have the ability to deploy things much, much faster. Let's see, I'm trying to scroll through this. Average contract size, RevRec. So RevRec is actually based on the type of licensing. So if it's SaaS, then we recognize revenue as we deliver service and capture the invoice. For licensing, it is a traditional software RevRec. I would say right now we're still doing lots and lots of pilots. And so, you know, if you are a pharmacy chain and you have 2,000 stores, you're not likely to launch this to all 2,000 stores. However, you might launch to 200 stores, and perhaps you might do an A/B test of different technologies to figure out whether AI is actually delivering better results than your traditional method. So lots of companies are going through their POC and pilot phase. And we expect in 2025, our focus is going to be much more on the customer side now that we have a product platform that is able to scale and meet the demands of the market. And we are at the bottom of the hour, so I want to thank everyone for listening in and the questions. I hope you understand that there are different ways to deploy AI solution. It is not all about the largest language model. Who has the largest language model? That's not how AI is going to impact businesses. It is technology that's easily managed, deployed, and controlled, and it gives the control back to the businesses, right? They're the ones who want to have business rules and policies enacted within their AI system. And we believe that is what's going to change the sentiment that AI is all hype and we're not delivering any results. I hope to share more exciting news in the near future, and I thank you all for joining my session.